the basic entry-level half guard with a knee shield. All right, 3 principles. Protect your head because he's going to try to dominate my head. All right, that's the first principle. Second principle, stay on your side because he's going to try and flatten me out. That's the second principle. So protect your head, stay on your side. Third principle, there's many other components that make up the half guard, but I'm only talking principles, is the principle of the underhook, and who has the underhook is usually in the more dominant position. So because I'm going to try to defend him getting an underhook on this high side, I can do that by just making sure he doesn't have it, but typically to advance my position, I'm going to probably want to get it myself and go deep, because your underhook's only as good as having your shoulder underneath his armpit, because then you can start taking those angles. All right? 3 principles: protect your head because he's going to want to dominate your head. Stay on your side because he's going to want to flatten you out. And then the underhook battle, prevent him from getting it, and get it yourself if you can. Right, that was the 3 things that we went over with regard to principles of a good entry-level half-guard game with a knee shield. When we drilled that out, we went on to, what do? We did the first half-guard escape, which I think works quite well against somebody even with a knee shield, and that is, might just demonstrate on you if that's okay. We'll switch positions. So he's got his knee shield. Basically, we're going to switch base and then get it from a half guard to a quarter guard or a 3/4 mount position, and then we're going to free our foot and end up in mount. To deal with the knee shield, it's going to be very hard to get rid of it completely, but to get around it a little bit, just so that it's almost clear, is okay, because then we're going to reach past and switch our base landing on this hip. Be heavy if we can. We're then going to reach past with this hand to our ankle if we need to use hand assist, but ultimately we want to get our foot as close to their butt as we can so that they can't use their legs to do any sort of lockdown or any sort of twister hooks or anything like that, but it also creates the tension we need to use our elbow, peel off their knee, pop it down, and once our knee's clear we can get into the 3/4 mount. From there, keep them flat, turn their head away so that their head is facing in the opposite direction to their hips. Once we've got that achieved, clearing our foot, coming into the mount. Simples.
All right, good. What Tristan covered and I covered was that in half guard and not flattened down, worst case. So you've got 2 directions you can go. You can go one way, and we call it the cowboy, right? So feet on the outside, and I'm going to bump him this way. If he doesn't place a post out, he will roll. And it's called the John Wayne sweep, or the cowboy sweep, because it's a roll. In the movies, when the cowboys roll, they usually have one leg between, and the stuntmen were doing it that way. So all I'm going to do is bump this way, boom, and he goes over. But a trained person will post that arm. So I bump it, arm goes out. So I'm getting underhook side first, turning back in. Then from here, I can do all my game. I can lower leg shift, come out the back door. I can come up to a elbow, come back under. I can rotate over. I can go deep. All because I've got this free underhook here. I can come up. I can go right in deep, capture this hand here. I can do a hock and hold, so I can roll one way, boom, or the other way, depending on which way they go. So that's if you go to the underhook side. But you can also go to the other side, which he's got a hard cross face, he's sinking again, he's got this underhook tight. So I might try and go this way, or I might try and go that way. So if I go that way, I end up getting a shielding to protect my underhook. If he doesn't put his hand out, I could possibly roll him still this way as well and come over the top. But generally speaking, I can go this way, he puts a hand out, boom, I get my hand in to stop the crossface. To get the underhook, I don't go this way, it's too hard. I go over there, come back under. Now I'll do my lower leg shift. He's still on top of me, I haven't built a frame. So all I'm going to do is lever, pushing down on the ankle here, pushing my knee through a little bit, and he changes his hip angle. Did you see that? I did nothing. Now I just hip under and roll him so easily. So that's how I can roll a bigger person. All right, cool. The other one we did was whenever you've got a leg inside, whether it's half guard, whether it's just here, you've always got an inversion, but you've got to be able to invert. So we can go all the way over, I call it the full circle. We do what we call Karni Basani. Now Karni Basani from standing is illegal because you're actually putting all your weight onto their knee and you're in the air. So it's a sideways scissor takedown and you're doing like a side kick in the air. But Karni Basani, when you're on the ground and all it is your legs entering, not illegal because there's no weight on the knees. So I go from here and I have a knee shield. Toes on top, push, and I get that response. Then I'll come up and over to the other side and push him over, and I get a sweep, and I enter the levers. So yeah, it is a bit hard, but that's for blue and above. Generally speaking though, you might not get, you can just go halfway and invert and then enter the levers. So from here, I'm going to push. Now this controlling the hips forward and back, that's really good, okay? I want to get his hand over there, back. So now I'm just going to invert. I can do a couple of things here to enter the legs. I could come under here and then pull him onto me and take his leg this way and get around the back door and be out the side. But I'm doing an inversion one. So from here, just going to push. And as I invert, I come up. Boom. Bring him forward. And your training partner, bit floppy, just slightly floppy, too floppy. But yeah. So they take practice. But your training partner, remember, if you're in mount and you do nothing, he comes up, he inverts. Now, I've got to do the response. I don't flop, because I've got to be up, because I want to fight this. I want to get out of it. So yeah, so just realise that being floppy is not necessarily the right thing to do. So that's a few things this week, last week. This week, I'm going to be focusing on knee shield. And the reason I'm focusing on knee shield is because it controls the space. Joining those toes together. And the other thing I'm focusing on is this hand here. Whenever that hand, the shoulder comes forward, always creating that shield. So I'm just, because this hand here will give me the underhook, this hand here will stop that coming forward. And then I can start doing my game, whatever it's going to be. I haven't decided what it's going to be, but that's what I'll be focusing on this week. This knee in there, and just doing some things from there. Good, so we just captured what we did over the last week. We'll put it out there for others. All right, good. So what I'd like you to